Unless you're there to mourn a loved one, the one emotion that you probably associate the most with cemeteries is fear. For some, there's no getting around the fact that graveyards are literally stretches of land filled with, well, you know, dead people. Part of what makes graveyards so eerie is the fact that they are, inevitably, your final destination. Even if you decide to have your body cremated, chances are it will be interred in a cemetery. Spooky. Still, little compares to the scare that one urban explorer experienced while visiting a local cemetery in his Alabama hometown. What he found beyond the gates was truly chilling, and he caught it all on film. Redditor Cynical Soup loved exploring his hometown of Montgomery, Alabama. Alabama as a state is rich with history, after all, and Montgomery was no exception. So when this explorer heard about a dilapidated cemetery just a short walk from his home, he knew he had to check it out. When he first made his way inside of the cemetery, he wasn't even sure that he had the right place. The cemetery didn't look remarkable, at least, not to his eyes. Initially, nothing really seemed out of the ordinary. Then, after taking a few steps, he felt something strange beneath his foot. He leapt back and saw an abandoned baby doll covered in dirt. It was clear it had been there for quite some time. Finding a doll like this any place would be unsettling, but finding it in a cemetery sent chills down his spine. And that was only the beginning. Shortly, he realized that something much more terrifying than an abandoned doll was waiting for him inside of the old and unkempt cemetery. Not all of the above-ground vaults were properly sealed, which meant only one thing that would make anyone's stomach turn. Apparently, people had been breaking into these vaults for years. That's right, real-life grave robbers paid regular visits to the cemetery. They knew it was the perfect place to ply their trade without any chance of ever getting caught. It's horrifying to think that people would do something like that to a sacred space just for a few measly dollars. It was also particularly scary for this urban explorer. He had no idea that he would be confronted with actual human bones during his visit. The last thing anyone wants to see when they go to a cemetery to pay their respects to someone who is no longer with us is the very visceral reminder of what happens to the human body after death. This belongs in a haunted house, not in a place of reflection and remembrance. While grave robbing might sound like something out of a Victorian-era novel, it is still a crime that occurs today. For the most part, the people breaking into these graves are looking for valuables, like jewelry, that might have been buried along with the deceased. Elevated and vaulted graves like this one are easier targets for grave robbers. Rather than having to dig deep holes late at night, all they have to do is get past the stones to access the body. Older cemeteries that don't receive regular care are particularly susceptible. This explorer thought he would be getting a chance to take some photographs of an older, historical cemetery. He had no idea that what he would uncover would leave him feeling so thoroughly creeped out. This is definitely one very eerie graveyard. How would you react if you ever stepped into a cemetery and found a bunch of exposed human bones?